They say God created man from mud and soil, so our human connection to land is supposed to be rooted deep in our DNA. While we don't think about it in a literal sense, we sure as hell believe the place we were born in has had an incredible impact on who we turn out to be. In this Sunday motivational video, we want to explore why you should never forget where you came from. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. We are all born all over the world in a variety of families, of cultures, and beliefs. Few start off with a silver spoon in their mouth. Most of them come from somewhere decent, and some of us have a while to go before they get to the starting line. There's a tremendous value in the place you were born in, although you might not see it. A small town or village where nothing ever happens nurtures in a small subsection of the population a desire to escape, to better themselves that's hard to go against. Years go by, you move, you hustle, you build, you fail, you connect, you try again, you build, on repeat until it works. A decade later, you find yourself winning. And that's when it happens. It's in that moment you believe you've made it, that you've become someone else, something else. Everything you touch turns to gold. People praise you. They follow your every word. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of it all. In our experience, there are two kinds of people when they make it. Those who believe the mirage, and those who stay grounded. You see, Aluxers, we want you to always remember who you are at your core and where you come from. Those initial values are what got you to make progress and to build the life you see around you. The moment these are overshadowed by the new life, you start losing. You stop paying attention and the mirage can break at the split of a second. There's an old saying where we come from. It is the man who blesses the land. Meaning that no matter what life throws at you, it's up to you to help your environment succeed. Your blood, your sweat, your tears, all to help nurture the land. When life throws shit at you, use it as fertilizer. That's what shit is for. There are numerous stories all around the world where people turned deserts into forests, or empty sand into an oasis. People can bless the place they're in if they choose to, and those blessings get passed on to the next generation. Do you want to have an impact in this life? There's only two things you need to know. 1. A good life is one where you take less than you give. And 2. For you to win, the giving part needs to be substantial. Monks get this wrong, thinking that because they leave the modern world behind, they're having a positive impact. But the more you think about it, the more you realize just how much of a selfish act that is. You renounce the world, the idea of building a family, of having kids, of building, in order to find and calm that inner storm in your life. The purpose of the individual is to have a purpose. You want to be happy in life? Don't try to be happy, try to be useful, and happiness will be rewarded to you in the process. It's easy to lose your head when making it big. It's easy to get caught up in all the shiny things around you. Fortunately for us, our soul remains scattered every place we draw from. There's no stronger of a reset than walking back to the same place you started from. One can revisit the past quite pleasantly, as long as one does so expecting nearly every aspect of it to have changed. But has it really that much? Sure, the windows, the doors, the rooftops might be different, but the soul of the place is still the same. It's your parents, it's your grandparents, it's the people on the street, it's the trees that have been there longer than you've been alive. Although on the surface things might be slightly different, for everything of depth, time has no business following the clock or the calendar. The reason why we wanted to make this particular video today is because there's true value in reconnecting with your roots. We found that one blesses the land one steps on, but the land will also bless the one who doesn't forget where one started. So don't forget where you started from. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget who you were deep down that allowed you to become the person you are today. Realize just how temporary all of it is. Where you came from is your story. Your story is the story of your ancestors, and you are responsible for keeping their stories alive. There's a powerful, eerie feeling you get when you visit your grandparents or your parents in a graveyard. You realize just how many people before you have struggled, dealt with problems of their own, and by some miracle of faith, all of it aligned beautifully for you to be here today. In your veins, you have the blood of your ancestors. You carry them in your DNA, the secret to a prosperous enough life to keep going. If you're struggling to find love, remember, not a single one of your adult ancestors died a virgin. Just because of your survival today, there is a high enough chance you had a good warrior among your ancestors, someone who had to overcome harder obstacles than you have today. You've got this. You might be inspired by them. You might feel ashamed of them. But remember, the lotus flower blooms out of the mud. You can only tell how far you've come once you look back on where you started. You might be stressed, you might be in pain, you might be suffering, or life might be great. But look behind you. You're the person who was able to make it all happen. You're here today. Deep down, we all know where we came from, what we had to do to get here. We tend to criticize our ancestors of 100 or 200 years ago for their beliefs and practices, but 100 to 200 years into the future, they'll likely criticize us for the same reasons. It helps to know where you come from. It helps to keep you grounded, to revisit the place where you grew up, because it allows you to appreciate the life you have right now and put into perspective where you're going. It was both a combination of effort and luck that allowed you to make it to get out of there. We've heard numerous times from our community that you guys are big fans of the show Peaky Blinders, so we watched it. There's a certain scene that we love so much where Tommy goes to the stables and starts shoveling shit. Then Curly asks him why he's shoveling shit, implying that a man of his stature is above such activities. The response struck a chord with us when Tommy said, "To remind myself what I would be if I wasn't who I am." And then they proceeded to shovel shit together in silence. It's one of the best lines on that show. That's why you need to go back to where you're from, Aluxers, to see the many versions of you that you could have become if you didn't choose to be who you are today. You see it in your old friends. You see it in your schoolmates. As life evolves, as you evolve, the gap between y'all grows deeper. Your reality has changed, but it's all built on that foundation. So we're asking you, what did you learn from where you came from? Let us know in the comments, as we'll be sure to read most of them. Go on, try us. And as for those of you who always watch our videos until the very end, of course, this one's no different. Here's your bonus. We become what we are either because of or despite where we come from. People will try to take credit from the success you're seeing. If I was so bad, how come you turned out so great? But what people don't understand is that some manage to pull themselves spitefully out of misery just so they never have to deal with it again. This has been a driving force behind our efforts for so long. You never want to feel like that again, and it makes for one hell of a motivator. If you can channel that into your work, art, creativity, into anything the world finds useful about you, you're going to win eventually. It's just a matter of time. In a long enough time span, we all get what we deserve. But for now, you get what you are. We got a lot of confused looks when we posted that on Twitter, but we believe it to be true. You get what you're worthy of right now. Not what you wish for, not what you hope you'll get. Your life is a reflection of who you are. There's no way to cheat it, or at least not for long. If you're becoming worthy of a fulfilling life, make sure to write the word worthy in the comments. It always brings a smile to our face. And by the way, Aluxers, make sure to follow us on Twitter, as we're engaging a lot more with the community there these days, especially with the Alux app coming in just a few short weeks. Thank you for watching this video, Aluxer. If you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this video for you to watch next, or head over to our website for more amazing content. See you tomorrow.